Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Most people don't need an enemy to fail. We carry one in our own mind. We delay the dream we claim to want. We push away the love we crave. We destroy the progress we've already earned. Why? Why would a human being, with instincts wired for survival, choose behaviors that guarantee their own suffering? Today, we explore the strange and haunting truth behind self-sabotage, why we abandon goals right before success, why we choose pain even when joy is possible, and how the brain mistakes self-destruction for safety. If you've ever wondered, why do I keep ruining a life I'm trying to heal? This video is for you. Self-sabotage is when you act against your own long-term goals. It's a disconnect between what you want and what you do. You want health, you binge. Productivity, you procrastinate. Love, you push people away. Confidence, you choose self-loathing. Stability, you fall back into old chaos. We call it laziness. We call it weakness. But the truth is more complex. Self-sabotage isn't a failure of desire. It's a failure of inner safety. Your brain isn't trying to ruin your life. It's trying to protect you using outdated survival strategies. The brain is a prediction machine. It doesn't care if you're happy. It cares if it knows what happens next. So if you grew up with chaos, neglect, or criticism, peace feels suspicious. Love feels dangerous. Success feels temporary. Good things feel like traps. A painful life, you understand, feels safer than a joyful one full of uncertainty. Your brain whispers, don't try, don't change, don't hope, because hope is how you get hurt. So you destroy before life has a chance to destroy you. Control feels safer than surprise, even if what you're controlling is your own downfall. It sounds ridiculous, right? Who would fear success? Answer: anyone who fears the version of themselves they would need to become. Success demands responsibility, accountability, consistency, vulnerability, exposure, change. The higher you climb, the harder you can fall. So part of you says, if I don't rise, they can't watch me fall. Greatness carries risks, jealousy from others, expectations you might not meet, judgment from those who want to see you fail. Self-sabotage becomes a shield. You can always say you could succeed. You just didn't try. It preserves identity. I'm not a failure. I simply didn't give my best. A tragic safety. Most people aren't afraid of sadness. We've been there. We know the shape of it. But happiness? Happiness feels like a balloon tied by a thin string. One gust of wind, and it's gone. So, instead of risking joy, we end it first. Because if you destroy it, you get to be in control of the loss. You tell yourself, it was my choice. But deep down, you never believed you deserved happiness in the first place. If childhood taught you, love is inconsistent. Attention comes only after pain. My needs make me a burden. Good things end suddenly. Your adult life will repeat these stories. Not because you want to, but because your brain believes these stories keep you alive. Trauma rights, unworthiness, I don't deserve better. Distrust, something is wrong if things go right. Hypervigilance, expect disaster. Self-sabotage is a preemptive strike against disappointment. You're not ruining your life, you're defending your heart. Self-sabotage rarely looks like a dramatic explosion. It's quiet, casual, comfortable. It looks like procrastination. I'll start tomorrow, repeated for years. Self-doubt. I'm not smart enough. Overthinking. What if it goes wrong? Training your brain to fail. Scrolling instead of starting. Isolation. Avoiding love because love can leave. Perfectionism. All or nothing. So usually nothing. Addictions and impulsivity. Anything to avoid thoughts. Silence. Self-awareness. Every behavior is a message. I do not believe in my future. We think ego means pride, but ego's true job is self-identity protection. If you've carried shame for years, ego will defend that shame like a crown. If you believe, I'm a failure, I'm unlovable, I ruin everything, then success becomes a threat because it challenges your identity. And the ego screams, better to be right about being broken than wrong about being worthy. So you prove yourself correct by failing on purpose. Comfort zones are not comfortable. They're predictable misery. You avoid the gym. You avoid the application. You avoid the relationship. You avoid the book you should write. Every avoidance is a brick. Soon the cage is complete. And then you wonder, why can't I leave? But the real bars are internal. Fear of exposure, fear of judgment, fear of trying, fear of wanting. Because wanting something creates the possibility of losing it. The nervous system stores patterns, not logic. If stress was normal in your past, your body will seek it in your present. You'll recreate chaotic relationships, financial instability, overworking, emotional conflict. Your body thinks, this feels familiar, so it must be safe. Dopamine also plays a role. Short-term pleasure rewarded, long-term success delayed. Fast relief beats slow progress, and every escape strengthens the habit. You cannot fight an enemy you refuse to see. The moment you realize this behavior is protection disguised as destruction is the moment transformation begins. Not by attacking yourself, not by calling yourself lazy, but by asking, what danger does my brain believe it's saving me from? Every act of sabotage is a signal, a clue, a survival attempt. Understanding replaces shame with curiosity, and curiosity opens the door to change. To stop self-sabotage, you don't need more motivation. You need self-trust. Start with these shifts, tiny promises, tiny victories. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for consistency. Seek discomfort gradually. Teach the brain that change isn't fatal. Allow joy without suspicion. Rewrite the belief. Happiness is safe. Build environments that support success. Make the harder behavior the easier choice. Replace self-attack with self-companionship. Talk to yourself like someone you are responsible for protecting. Healing starts when safety replaces fear. There is a version of you who doesn't sabotage their own progress. They wake up hopeful. They pursue without fear. They accept love without running. They celebrate success without guilt. This version already exists in potential. Self-sabotage is not a life sentence. It is a pattern, and patterns can be rewritten. You are not broken. You are overprotected. Your brain simply learned that survival means staying small. But now, your world demands growth. Every time you self-sabotage, remind yourself, old fear is speaking. But I am listening to a new future. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to rise. You're allowed to want a life that feels like living. You have fought battles no one saw. You survived what once threatened to break you. Now the war is different. You're no longer fighting the world. You're learning not to fight yourself. And that is the most courageous battle of all. If this video helped you understand yourself, then make a promise not to be perfect, not to have it figured out, but simply don't abandon yourself again.